Welcome to Pagan Crafting. I'm your host, Cara. Today we have a thrifting challenge. We're going to change something Christmas into Yule. I challenged the beautiful Beverly butterfly and she challenged me back with this theme. First I thought, how am I going to do this? And then I found a wreath, a Christmas wreath, and I thought we could make this Pagan Crafting charging station. So join me today and let's make something cool. Go over and check out Beverly's video on her channel, and she's done something cool with her thrift as well. Okay, so here's what I got. I went thrifting. I found this wreath. It's got some stuff on it. I don't know. It was like $4.49 Canadian. And then I got these little glass votives. We're just gonna call them that because it sounds cool. For like $3.99. So it cost me $8.48 total for these 7 items. My budget was $20 and it came to $8.48 Canadian. That's about 470 quid or $6 US. So I was well chuffed with that and I kept totally under budget and then some. So I'm going to remove all the garland here, and it's pretty gross. It's pretty trashy. It's been pretty used. It's kind of dirty. So I'm not going to recycle this. We're just going to let it go with no judgment. There's also some weird little things here hanging on. So we're going to use some pliers and some wire cutters and just get all these little bits off here. I'm going to take off this old sign. A lovely little momentum on the back. It says, "Love you, Mom." But it must go. So we're going to turn something Christmas into Yule. And I have something so cool planned for this. Grabbing some branches, we're going to start off with, yes, a pentacle. We're going to make us a star. And with this star, it's going to create the 5 elements. So the 4 main elements and with spirit. Now with this here, it's going to become a charging station. I'm going to amplify this. I'm going to be adding a sigil to this, some mirrors, some work, some candles with the glass votives. And this is going to become where I can place things down, charge it right up as crystals, items, keys, anything I want to use, anything I want to enchant, anything I need to cleanse. All I have to do is program it while I'm making it as well as after, because I'm going to use a sigil to power this up as well. So as you see here, I'm just using some jute twine, something really cheap, and it's just going to look really rustic and more natural. Now I didn't even have to glue this together. I was trying to avoid the hot glue action. So this is what it looks like. It's all done up. Now I'm going to do the corners, and I like to show you how with this one. Pretty self-explanatory. You're binding the corners together, or the where the ends meet. But this one, give it about 8 to 10 wraps and then feed it through the top and the bottom. You're going to give it another 3 or 4 wraps there, then you can tie it on the back. So it squeezes the 2 points together and then it secures it nice and tight. And it just looks super cool too. Okay, so we're going to be adding our star here now. Again, trying to avoid some hot glue, because with this, a lot of it's just going to pour through and it's just going to look really, really messy. You're going to be hiding up a lot of stuff here too. So again, some jute twine's your friend here. And it just, again, looks good. And you can almost leave it just like this, but we're going to go a little bit more and we're going to add some goodies here. Grabbing 5 of my biggest pieces that I have, I'm going to be putting these at the corners or the tips of each point of the star. And as you guessed it, the candles are going to go on here. So that one's a little wonky. I got bit of a big piece meeting a medium-sized stick at the piece, so it's a little bit oblong. So we're gonna have to do some fancy footwork with the hot glue to make sure that's super secure and straight. So now we're gonna lay down some hot glue here. I'm trying to figure out where to start. Now the top one's a little bit easier to glue down. This one was nice and flush. It was two of the same size sticks meeting each other. But I'm still going to use this candle holder because the glass is actually quite a bit heavy. So it's actually going to secure that down while the glue is cooling, and it's also going to keep it flush for me. Using the same technique on this one because I want them all nice and flush, so when my candles burn, they're not going to burn off to the one side or leak out in a funny way. Now this one here at the tops and the sides, I had to kind of teeter the glass on the end. But the reason why I did that is to kind of push down on the end and make it nice and flat. But we're going to go with the elemental colors here. I'm doing a base coat color because I planned some other goodies on top of this. So just rocking in a gorgeous blue, a nice royal blue with a fire engine red, sunflower yellow, and I have a magenta purple I'm going to be using, and keeping with like a pine tree green. I'm more of a natural. I'm a natural kind of girl. That's right. I'm a natural, kind of richer color type of girl. Doing just a second coat to build up on the yellow. I'm going to be bringing in, you can see it better off camera. I was trying to create a flow, didn't dig it, so I'm going to just try that again. Pounding in, I think I'm just going to bring in some white in there, give it some airflow, some cloud-like feel. Moving on to fire now. Even though we have a dried background, I did lay down some more red, bringing in the orange, not dipping or changing the color on the brush. Just going to the next color and letting the color flow out and meld together. Now with earth, I thought I'd just keep it simple. Bringing in some leaves around the edge. Not sure what it is, but it's greenery. Just feeling the flow, and I'm also dipped in some darker green and whatever color came out with that too. Changing color going into the blue, and I'm doing a one stroke brush painting where I have a darker on one side, lighter on the other. We're going to make a letter C, and it's going to be a wave. Now I'm going to just trash brush the edges for the foam on the edges of the wave. Bada bing, bada boom. We are done. So good. Easy. Now, this one was interesting how this one turned out. I would just start off with a spiral because it's for spirit. And look at that. An eye came out of it. I was like, oh, it's all right. Let's just add a little bit of a dark magenta here, a little bit on the top, leaving it. Now we have our third eye. Heck yeah. I love how stuff like that turns out. So, left it as is. So having a little quick peek here, just one stroke brush painting, not mixing. So I went out and foraged in the city, in the ravine. We have some ravines and parks right across the street, and just a few blocks down from our house too. There's a lovely, feels like you're in the country, in the middle of a ravine, middle of the city. It's kind of cool. You can pretend you're not in the city for a while, but I foraged for some pine needles there. And we got some branches. I'm going to have them all going one direction. I just like the flow of that because I'm going to be binding this later. Now I'm not going to be gluing down these branches. I'm going to be using some jute twine. I'm going to grab some twine in intervals of 3 feet at a time. And the reason why that is, it's just easier to feed through the hole. I'm going to tie everything off. I'm not going to glue anything down. I'm going to keep the the main part of the wreath with the branches and the star and the elements for all year round. But right now, this Christmas piece is going to turn into a Yule piece. This Yule piece is going to be my new charging station for each of the seasons. So I thought, instead of gluing it down, I could reuse and recycle this piece for every season to come. Springtime is going to be something different. I may have to get some pussy willows on here or something. Oh, that'd be cool, because that's definitely springtime. Now what we're going to do is as you see what I'm doing here, I'm just feeding the line, the jute twine, holding down the branches with one hand, and it's quite easily done. Just, just take your time. I'm trimming some little branches as I go if some are like sticking out or too small. I am putting about 1.5 inches, approximately almost 2-inch gap between each line, depending on the size of your wreath and depending on what look that you want to achieve. But with any luck, this will at least last me till March, but I feel these branches may be dried out a little sooner. So what I might do is I might even spritz them. Give them a little watering after I'm done here. That might be something to do, but if it lasts a couple months, I'm going to be happy with that, and we'll change her up come solstice, the equinox, sorry. Okay, I'm very, very, very pleased with that. Going into the last of my cinnamon stick rations. I'm so low. Usually that is so packed full of cinnamon sticks, but I've been enjoying simmer pots in my house, and I've been like enjoying the cinnamon, and just the smell in the house just smells like Christmas. Bringing in some, this is fake holly and fake, I can't believe I'm putting it on, but I don't have where I live any holly or ivy. Or what's the other one? Holly's pretty, or mistletoe. That's what I'm working with here. They don't grow naturally in my state. So I'm going to use some fake mistletoe that I did acquire at the dollar store. And I also have some little teeny tiny acorns on some wire that I acquired at the dollar store. So my budget, I can probably add another $2 to the budget that I'd spent, but I've kept everything. My budget was $20, and I've kept everything under budget and used what I had around the house. I already had the little wooden cookies. I already had the paint. The pine was free. I already had the cinnamon sticks from like a supply that I bought a couple years ago. I overdosed and got a lot, but I sure used it. Now we're going to add some of these little teeny, oh, so cute. They're actually brushed. These little pine cones brushed with some light silver paint on it as well, ever so slightly, so it doesn't take away from it. It's not glitter. I don't mind glitter. I'm just not feeling it on this vibe. And I just really quite enjoying turning this Christmas wreath into this Yule charging station. This charging station is going to grow with me. It's going to learn from me. I'm going to learn from it. It's going to charge up different items. Different things that I can charge up my items with. I'm going to show you some options here shortly to come. And we're going to go over, if you stay tuned to the end of this video. Now, guess what? The reveal. Okay, so my friends, we have a finished piece here. This tried to avoid hot glue where absolutely ever possible, except what I want to be permanent. This is going to be my new all year round charging station. I'm going to program it. I'm going to tell it what to do. I can charge up crystals, anything like that. Now, before we get to what else we can do, We're going to grab these candles here. This is the other part of the thrifting pieces that I had. I'm not going to alter these, for I love the way the glass feels. They're perfect size. I'm so happy with them. And what I did is that I made some corresponding candles to match the paint that I used in each of the elements. This sapphire blue was a hard one to make, but well worth how much wax I used. And this purple too took quite a bit of colored wax to achieve that color. So what I have here is a mirror, and I'm going to be placing this in the center of this. This is going to help me reflect back everything I'm putting into it. It's going to charge everything up. But there's something underneath that I have to show you too. So in a previous video, we made these candles together. This metal piece in the center is an Aries talisman. So it's an Aries for me. And this is going to be bringing things into my life. Maybe I can think about friends, invoke things that I need, manifest. Let's go back to this little mirror here before I forget. So I've designed a sigil here. And this sigil is what's going to help power up and help cleanse items in my charging station. So this is how I created the sigil here. It says power up and cleanse my charging station items. I liked how this piece turned out. It was quite a long one to create, and I was a little worried how it was going to turn out, but it's not too messy or busy. So you can use manifestations, spells on parchment paper that you've colored and enchanted. You can leave these in for a day or a week or a month, however your spell is necessary. I think we need to light these candles. Let us see how this looks. Voila! So you could use the candles beside it or on top of it, on top of your charging areas. You can use each of the elemental pieces to use each element as per charging, or charge it up in the center, which would invoke all the 5 different elements to help you. The ideas and items that you could use in this charging station are absolutely limitless. Well, thank you so very much once again for hanging out with me, and as always, have yourself an absolutely blessed Yule.